Hey all, I'm just getting ready to practice my jalapeno poppers so that you can see how they're done, and just so that you know that I also use video as a method to get some practice in. Today for my poppers I am going to be using about 8 to 10 jalapenos. I need some Monterey Jack cheese, some regular cream cheese. I just got the cheapy stuff from grocery outlet, onion powder, 1 egg, and some crescent rolls. So give me a second to set up the camera where you guys can watch me cook, and I'll get started. It's not the best arrangement here, but hopefully you can kind of see what's going on. So basically I'm going to start by grating my cheese and getting that out of the way. Got 8 ounces of Monterey Jack cheese. And 8 ounces of cream cheese. And this is going to go in my little Halloween mummy poppers. If I didn't say that already, I need to remember that. Obviously this is practice. So I'm just grating up my cheese on a regular cheese grater. Like I said, you need 8 ounces of cream cheese and 8 ounces of Monterey Jack cheese. I think the Monterey Jack cheese gives it a little bit of heat inside the jalapeno poppers, but also kind of a little bit of flavor and a little bit more salt than you would get with just this regular plain old cream cheese if you just put cream cheese in there. So I'm just going to start by making the mixture. I also preheated my oven to 400 degrees. So, get my fork. The cream cheese should be softened a little bit. I just actually took this right out of the fridge, so you're going to probably want to leave it out for 20 minutes or so, the cream cheese, if you're going to make these, just so that it's softened a little bit. And then I'm going to add in the 8 ounces of the Monterey Jack cheese. It looks like I made quite a bit more than grated up quite a bit more, and you don't want a lot more, so I'm going to put this over here to the side. You can use that later for some tostados or something. And then we're going to want a little garlic, so I'm going to mince up about a teaspoon of garlic, minced, chopped finely. And I don't know if you can see this, but I always have like a spare bowl laying around for vegetable clippings, because I compost stuff, so I can use that. I don't throw that away. Anything that is organic I can throw in my compost, and then it makes a nice rich soil for my garden. I'm hoping to get a greenhouse this fall and start planting year-round if I can. So right now I'm just mincing up my garlic. You want to mince it real fine. Like I said, you want about a teaspoon. And that goes right in the cream cheese mix. And while that's warming up a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and get my jalapenos chopped. And basically this is what the jalapenos look like, obviously, and you can rinse them, which I will do. I should have done that earlier. But I'm going to rinse them in a strainer. Just makes it a lot easier. I'll rinse those off nice. And then I'm going to cut them in half. Out. And you want to leave the the stem on if you can. It just kind of adds a nice little look to the finished popper when they're done. So if you can, just leave the stem on. And then again, I've got my organic refuse bowl here for vegetable clippings, so I can just hollow out my jalapenos with their ribs in there. You know how they have the little seeds in there. I was just interrupted by Gavin, but I paid him no mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hollow those out pretty good and then drop them back into my strainer so I can rinse them again. I don't want any seeds or any of this ribbing flesh to be in my finished popper. And I just tore off one of the stems. It's not a big deal. If you can leave the stems on, try and leave the stems on. If not, don't worry about it. It's just for aesthetic value. Rinsing those out. Before I started, I started my oven preheating on 400. That's what we're going to bake these at for about 15 minutes once they're all put together as little mummies. And then I also lined a baking sheet with parchment paper. Parchment paper is different than wax paper. It's a lot like wax paper. It just doesn't have the wax side of the paper on, but it keeps your whatever you're cooking from sticking to the pan. And you know, these are going to leak a little bit because they're a vegetable and they got some water in them, and they've got cheese in them. Excuse me. So as they're cooking, they're going to leak a little bit. Just hollowing out about 10 of these. These are nice big jalapenos. I don't know if that's because they're in season right now or what, but kind of nice that this recipe comes during the fall time, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to just sit those rinsed out jalapenos. I did about 8 of them just to show you, and try and mash up this cream cheese, the teaspoon of garlic clove, and the Monterey Jack cheese. I really should have let it soften a little bit, so I'll have to remember to do that tomorrow when I'm doing it live for you. And then also, let's add a little bit of onion powder to that. It says about a 1/4 teaspoon, depending on the recipe you use. There's several different recipes, just like there are for about every recipe these days. So I'm using about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder with that mixture. And then while we're doing that, I'm just going to set this stuff up here, because one of the main ingredients to our cool mummy rolls, and what makes it a little mummy roll, is the actual mummy, which we're going to make using, voila, cream cheese. I mean, crescent rolls. These little scary things that always pop and scare me. So you just want to open up those rolls. Always have to hit them a little bit. Get them to open. Right on the seam. And they pop open like that. You know how they look? You can just take them right out. What we're going to do is we're going to unfurl these or unroll them. And the recipe I saw says to use them in squares. Like, so take the whole square. So here, for example, is one square. They're basically 2 of the triangles. And then we're going to take another square. Let this other stuff sit right here. And the idea, this is real super simple from what I've seen anyway. And we're just going to cut these into strips. And that's what we're going to wrap the little mummy with. just cut these into nice skinny strips here. And then the idea, like I said, you really want to make sure that this cream cheese is softened, because if it's not, you're going to have this, what's going on with me right now. That's that it's all clumping together. So I could do one of two things. I could let it sit here for 20 minutes, or I could throw it in the microwave for 5 seconds and have it melt down a little bit, which I think I'll do. So while I'm doing that, I'll go ahead and crack my egg, because the egg wash is what we're going to put over the mummy to brown the biscuit mix that goes over. So we're just going to take one egg, crack it like so. Again, another thing that can go right in my compost bucket, my compost stuff at the end of the day. And whisk that a little bit. This recipe I saw said put like a tablespoon of water in there. I don't know why, but we'll go ahead and do that. You want to whisk that really good, because you don't want it to scramble up on the biscuit mix. Check this cream cheese mix and see if it's getting any softer. So whisk that real good, so that when you go to brush it on, it won't scramble up on you. And then you're going to need a little brush, pastry brush, like so. When we're done with our poppers, we're going to put those in. I'm also making a pork roast today, so I got to turn that down. Let's see how my cream cheese mixture is going. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. I should have probably softened it before, but that's all right. So here you go. This is the cream cheese Monterey Jack, and a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of minced garlic. I'm going to take, which I could probably take we'll try this, just a regular tablespoon. I don't know how this is going to work. And then I'm just going to dollop that in the jalapeno, like that. And I've never done these before, ever. So it's an easy enough recipe that I think anybody, if I can figure it out, anyone can. Then, look what we get to do. Some art. We're going to take the little bread mix and go wrap it around the jalapeno and the cream cheese mix. And when it's all done and we brush it like egg and bake it, it'll look like a little mummy. So it'll be great for kids, or if you're having a Halloween party or get together. And then you do that on the bottom half of the jalapeno, and on the top quarter of it. So it shouldn't look more than like that. So see that little mummy right there? Already you can see him come bake. I'm going to sit him on the baking sheet. And then get out another one. Just fill it up. Be generous with the sour cream, because they're eating poppers, and these are pretty big jalapenos, so you're going to want to make sure that they're nice and generously filled. And again, with your strips of crescent dough, just wrap them around. You know, this would be really a great thing, fun thing for kids to do as well. Just about can't go wrong. How cute is that? I think I'm going to roll one more on this guy. I like that. And then it's going to add a little bit of biscuit. And then you take one more and do the top, again, just the top quarter of that. It's kind of like the headscarf for that little mummy. That's good there. That's a perfect little guy there. I'll do about 4 of these and bake them, just so we can show you what they look like. Isn't that neat? I've seen this recipe a couple years now. I've thought, wow, it'd be cool to try that, and then I just never did. So this year I thought, well, I'm gonna just give it a little try and make some, see if I can make my own mummies. And this one's got quite a bit of cream cheese on there. Oh. Okay. Now let's do one more. And then we'll pop those in the oven. Really nice and generous with those poppers. So it looks like my one full square of crescent rolls makes about 4 full mummies. So you're going to want to get, get ready to use, if you're going to do quite a bit for a party, you're going to want to use a whole can of the crescent rolls. This is one big mummy right here, this guy. So this is pretty much it. They're getting ready to go in the oven now with just a little bit of egg wash on there for 15 minutes. So here's what they look like. Let me lift up the camera. Okay, so we're back. I just checked my rolls, my little mummies, and it looks like it's a good thing I did check them because they are very ready to come out of the oven. They were in there for 15, probably 12 minutes actually. And look what they look like. Aren't those adorable? So I'm going to spit those out. I have another little sheet ready to go in. Get those in. And then I'll show you finally how to dress them. And what I use to dress the mummies, or to complete the mummies, are these little eyeballs. It's just a little pack of eyeballs. So let me put the video again in my planter. Sorry, the only thing I could use. I got to figure out a Apple needs to. The iPhone people need to figure out a camera vantage point. Stand so we can do this all at the same time. So I'm gonna pull my poppers that just came out of the oven. They smell so good too. So those are done. Oh wow, those are neat. And then I got a little package of these eyeballs. You could use black olives. I thought about that, and actually probably for my next set for my boyfriend Gav, I probably should do black olives because he's not gonna like these little candy eyeballs. I just got a little packet of these, and I'm going to open them up, stick the eyeballs in. We'll find the presenter plate. Boy, they should be all nice and ready to serve up to people that are coming for a Halloween party or something for kids after school snack. Oh, and guess what? I got paper on here. Guess where the paper can go? Right in my compost pile. A little bit of knife action, I think, to open these eyeballs. Packaging these days. So I open up the eyeballs and just insert them in right into the cream cheese. Aren't those adorable? I'll show you in a second. Let me just get them in. You just have to press those into the warm cream cheese. Oh my god, how much fun is that? Okay, it looks a little crazy. God, those are so cute. And yeah, the egg wash just made them just right. I might just turn my oven down a little bit because I'm thinking it might been a little high there. That's why they got done so quick. Okay, that's it. And if you want to take a look now at the final, aren't those adorable? Halloween jalapeno popper mummies. Have a great rest of your Sunday.